Okay, let's start, right? Excellent. So I just want to do a quick refactoring in this code and then upload this thing, this work we've done in GitHub. Then Christopher, sorry. Yeah, I thought you know. Christopher will take afterward with the array and loops. Okay, excellent. So just want to do a small refactoring, then I will upload the code. So we are hungry, right?
No.
And we're not anymore
Not
anymore. So I'm just refactoring a code here slightly. Can you just looking at here? Here I'm saying I'm not. It's kind of a redundant thing, right? It's repeated here in each places, right? So you can say just remove this one and sorry here. So we can remove this thing, right?
Something extra.
Yeah. So one place is better, right? Probably you can even say it's not happy like this. So look at this one. Oh, I need a space, right? How can I make it a space here?
You add a space before the.
Before here, then I have to.
No, space
After M is better, then I don't have to add in every places, right? Okay, and just refactor our hungry mood because on day sunny actually I cannot make I'm happy or something. So let's make this one on mood. So if I am happy, then I'm hungry. Otherwise, not. Okay. See here, what mood has? Mood has not happy, happy, and confused, right? These three. So I'm just checking if I'm happy, then I'm hungry. Otherwise, not. See here is I'm hungry, right? My mood is happy. So because the temperature is good, so let's make the temperature worse. So I'm not hungry. I'm confused. I'm not hungry. Okay. So let's say this is a piece of code. So we think it's good to make it commit and then upload in the GitHub, right? So you guys should be the master in this. So what should I do?
Git status.
Clear the screen.
Oh, no, okay.
So git what? Git status. Oh,
Okay.
it detects two files, right? Because I never asked them to track them. So basically, it will not say okay, I see that many changes, that many changes. It's the entire file is unknown to me. So I should do what?
Add dot.
Just do dot, then both of the files.
Yes. Now this is a case that you have two files. So if you agree with both of them, you want to include them, just use dot, right? Yes.
Otherwise, you have to write the
Name of the file.
Yes. Git. Always do this. It's kind of I do, but it's okay if you don't do it. I always do git status. Git commit.
and
M for what?
so now you can write your
Message.
Yeah. What is the message?
New project.
No, for example, just whatever you want. The last word that you
Don't say that I'm really happy spending 2 hours for revision only. Other teacher will get mad. He said okay. Okay. Let's say.
My
Okay.
mood exercise.
It's also good that if you're doing a first commit to that work, you can say first commit,
Yeah.
commit, and then yeah. Or this is the one. Otherwise, you can also write more with this way.
But it's better not to write a long.
Yes, it is better. So commit, right? And it's give me this. So what I said?
Git.
First
No.
commit. What? Data type variable.
Okay.
I'm showing you something different. Yeah, that's for you.
Just, you can just repeat how you get to this page.
Yeah, I will show you. What else you have learned? Condition, right?
Data type. Oh yeah, you did. Condition.
And what more?
Expression.
Okay, let's stick to that. Okay, with the first comment, with some script basics, right? And escape colon WQ, right? I'm not sure if I'm.
Yeah, the WQ.
No, just Q.
Let's just for copy this if I don't make it, so I can git status. It's clean, right? Git. How should I validate that this is
Log.
git log? Yes. Log what?
What was git log?
Just git log.
Git log is this checking the commit messages.
Okay.
So if I do log,
Log master.
oh man, it's crazy. Yeah, at least it's showing this is the one, right? See here, it's nice, beautiful way to read instead of reading blah 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 thing, right? Don't you agree?
Just could you repeat how you did that?
Yes. One more nice way, probably if you didn't forget, git log minus one line, and it gives you this way. Okay, forget about this. So what is next I should do? I should push this to GitHub, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but just how did you
Just git commit. Don't press
without
the
any
and nothing. It gives you this opportunity. Okay. So what should I do now? Git
push
Master
Origin master.
no remote
Origin master.
what?
Origin
no
master.
git push
Really?
remote origin.
You see what? I just cloned it. I didn't fork it.
Huh?
I didn't fork.
Oh.
Look at that. So what's the thing? Actually, it is important. That's why we should do it now.
You need git init.
So I should fork first, right?
Yeah.
Fork it to myself. See here, what is the error message says? Permission denied. It means that I don't have any permission to do there, right? So I fork it. Now I go to my thing. Where is the repository? Man, I have so many repositories. Clone it. And clone. If I copy this, my text will be gone, right? And
Terminal.
here, this two, right? Copy. Just here, right? Because I want to delete this one. I don't want to fork from there. Fork clone from my repository. CD.
But you should clean the master. I gave you problem.
Sorry.
No. When you make a new folder, you don't need to clean anything
Project.
because now you need to make a new folder.
Okay. Now I need to delete this one. I deleted, right?
Yeah.
Git clone. Oh, really? CD JavaScript, right? That's here, right? So I do have this too. Copy JavaScript. That's one. Let's say week 2, right? We are doing it here, right? Git status, right?
Yes.
So we see these two change, right? What should I do? Git.
But you have to go to the folder, no?
It's not, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So git add, right?
Yes.
Git add, and now I'm doing it again. Git commit. That's it, right?
Okay.
And then where did I copy? Here, right? How do I insert? Paste. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
WQ.
And then
Colon W.
escape. Right? Why is not responding?
Go down.
WQ, right?
Yeah.
Yes, git status, git push, right? We should do that. It's done. Let's see. Refresh
Yeah.
and commit. And this is my last commit here, right? And you can see the commit is this. It's nice readable. That's much better. What we have done, right? Okay. The last thing. Settings. Yes. You go settings. Oh, sorry, week 2, right? Week 2.
No, JavaScript.
1.
1, sorry. Let's say 1, week 2. Settings.
What are you looking for?
Yeah,
Then?
just look at what I'm doing.
Master. Non, master.
Okay,
Master
let's
branch,
see.
yeah.
Okay, I have to make a GitHub page actually. You know how to make a GitHub page. You all of you are already
How to make what?
GitHub page. Like
Yeah. With the .io.
okay, save.
They give you the link
Hmm.
downstairs.
It's done, right? So how can I go to this one again? Setting. So
Yeah,
see
it's
here.
there.
Here you can find a link. Okay, and I'm showing you because if you click this link, it comes here, and then where should I go?
Week 2.
JavaScript 1, maybe.
No.
JavaScript. Yeah, 1.
One and week 2.
Yeah, I'll tell you where how did it come. How did it come here.
CRPT. PT.
JavaScript.
And I have a question. For example, if I write
No.
PT. TP.
One, right? What? Capital maybe. Week 2 maybe. How do
Yeah,
I?
week was the capital letter,
What?
not the JavaScript.
It's both capital.
Oh, script S, the S.
So see, guys, here you often submit your homework in Slack channel, right? How do you do it?
I copy.
You copied this one, right? From tomorrow or today. You should always share this link. When you upload, share this link. This way, I will do what? I will write inspect, and I would be able to see your text here. So this way, I can see what you're typing. The code is working because see here the code. So JavaScript, right? JS file. So probably the example you demonstrated in the morning to find the age. Probably you write something, but I don't know how to see it's working. So then I need to clone this one and run in my machine. It's tedious job. I don't want to do it. That's don't give me that much motivation to review code. So if you also do this, share this link, GitHub IO page link. This is the GitHub IO. It means a page. So it is. You can see here, and then I can see the code, and I can see what are you outputting.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how we should go here?
Okay, if you go to your GitHub repository,
Okay.
so you would be able to see the setting. Go there. Okay, should you want to see here or? JavaScript, right? So from here, settings, then scroll down, you see GitHub pages here. Source was none. You should make it a master branch, and then save it. That's it. And it takes few seconds or few minutes to create your page. As soon as you create a page, so it creates a page from the top directory, like here. See, look at here. All look at here. Top directory. So if I want to go to your homework, probably you will be going JavaScript 2, week 2, and you upload some file here, right? Sorry, it's not JavaScript 2. It's JavaScript 1. So JavaScript 1, week 2, and here is a file, is index and index.js, right?
Yeah.
So here it will. If I go there, like GitHub IO page, where is this one? This is a link. Always stay there, and I should go to JavaScript, like here, like it mentioned in the repository. Then it opens this page. Okay, it's good. Okay, you can try it later. Also, I will share the video so you can see in slow motion. Okay. Now it's all to Christopher.
I think I'm ready.
Yes.
Okay, so like we saw before, we can log things to the console. But if I were to log the same thing to the console a lot of times, so say I would do something like this. I'll just write hello, and I would write this a lot of times. Then I would have to do like this, copy it. I don't know how to copy on a Mac, is it like this? Yeah, like this. So this would work, but this can get kind of ugly, because if you want to print the same thing or several values at the same times, there's a better way to do it than just writing console.log several times. So do you think there's a way that we could do the same operation several times? Sorry? Yeah, we could repeat it in a way. So what we can do instead, is it open in the browser so we can just see it?
Yes. No, yeah, here.
How do you?
You can close the other tabs, not to be confused. Maybe.
Oh, okay. How do you go to the?
Right.
The 2 fingers.
Oh, okay, yeah. We can just. Oh, we didn't save it, I think. Like this.
Okay, it's basically now we are doing it. Sorry, we're doing it week 2. That's why I changed the folder.
Ah, okay.
And save. Maybe.
Oh, okay. This should work, right?
It will work. 1 second. Again. This is need to be week 2.
Oh, okay.
You did week 2.
Oh, okay, it works now. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So there's actually, if we want to write the same value out several times. Oh, is this the wrong one now? I got into. Is it just the wrong? Oh, it's up here, right? Is it the wrong file? Is it the right file?
This is the right file. Doesn't look right. Let's copy this thing, right? Week 2, right?
Yeah.
I should open the week 2 folder right as well. You know what? Let's check the file itself.
Oh yeah.
What? Maybe we open the multiple window.
Yeah, that might be it. Oh, okay, there you go. Okay. So instead of doing like this, where we write the same thing multiple times, we can make something called a loop. So we iterate over the same value several times. So we can do something called this. This is like a for loop. It's called, which means that we're looking for the same time. So the first thing we need to do is we need to declare where we're starting. So we're making a variable called I, like you mentioned before. And let's say we want to start at 0, because usually you start at 0 in computer programming. And now we want to say I is, here we want to specify the amount of times that we want to loop through something. So let's say 5 times, for example. And then at the end, we need to increment I. So when it starts off, it says, okay, I is equal to 0, and then it goes on until I is equal to 5. So we can do something like this. It means that we how do you make the...
Okay, the bracket.
Yeah, the bracket. I'm not used to a Mac computer. Ah, okay.
This alt and shift bracket.
Yeah, okay. So in here we can do the same thing, just say hello, for example. And then, oh. Yes, and we can go in here. And it says the same, okay, it's 5 out here, so it means it said 5 times. So, for example, if we say, okay, instead we want to do it 10 times, we can do like this. And it says it, and it printed out 10 times. So that's pretty cool, a pretty cool way to do the same operation multiple times. So we can do some different things with this. I wrote down some examples over here. So, for example, the case you use it the most often is if you have a list or something. If you have something what we call an array. An array is like a list of values, for example. So if we do something like this, we make a variable called list teachers, which is, we could just say the teachers in this class, and then we do the array operation, which I don't know where is either.
Man. Yeah. Now I'm good. But what do you want to write?
Oh, I want to write the.
I should now remember that.
You can use the screen keyboard and you see everything there.
Yeah, I
Can you
could
just quickly share your code in Slack? So what, do you
Yeah,
have Slack here?
yeah.
So you just
Yeah, that would be.
yeah, you just can ping me this to me.
Yeah, that would be easier.
To show you that you
You're.
it doesn't work.
Oh, you're here. isn't it? Yeah, just.
Sorry about that.
I need a sticker.
So now you'll be able to copy stuff.
Yeah, it's probably easier just to paste it all in.
I'm organized.
You can just explain.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So you can. So you can use copy paste.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Okay, so I made a list here, and I just added an extra name because I think we're only 3 teachers. I could have wrote Benjamin instead, but how is it you copy? Command C. Okay. And there we go. So I think we'll write Benjamin here instead. Okay, so this is like a list of all the teachers in the class. So if we would want to print all these names out, what could we do?
Console.log list teacher.
List teacher, okay, let's try that. But now we have a problem, right? Because we loop through 10 times, but we don't know how many teachers there are. Is there a way that we can find out how many elements is in the teacher? Length, yeah, exactly. So if we go in here, we can just say list teacher the length. Okay, so let's just try it out with just something simple as well. So let's say hello again. So this should go through 4 times, right? Because we have 4 teachers. Let's test it out. Okay, it went through 4 times, so that worked fine. Okay, so if we want to print out each element in the list teacher, what can we do then? We want to print out each teacher.
No, just I.
Just I?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it, see what happens.
Because you.
No, you.
This feature of I.
If you want to print.
This
Say it again. What the question?
Yeah. Okay, how can we print out each element, like each name of the teacher? What would happen if we were to log out I? What would it print out?
The time, the number. From
One at a time.
from
What are you
zero-
saying?
From 0 to.
Yeah, exactly. It will print out the numbers, and,
Yeah.
and why would it print out the numbers?
Because in this bar, you're declaring bar as a
Yeah,
number.
exactly. It's because I is equal to the number. It's equal to the index where we are. It's not equal to the element. So what we can do instead is we can do, and then we can do now.
Now you copy from here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's easier for me.
Yeah, sorry.
That's the easiest way.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I should just copy. Okay, so let's see if this works. And yeah, it prints out all the elements in the list teacher. In right here, we just had an example with strings here, where with the names. But we could do the same thing with. I made a list of numbers down here. So if you do like this, oops, didn't I copy it? Command C, Command D. So will this work if I do like this? Will this work? Yeah?
Should be worth it.
Oops. Yeah, I think I forgot to save it. It should work, yeah. Did I write something? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it works as well. So it works with all types of data. So you can do it with numbers or with strings or with names or anything like that. But actually, there's like if we are working with typically strings or objects, which we will have in the next lesson, there's actually an easier way to do this. So if we do like this, oops. Okay, so what is can anyone explain what are we doing here? It looks similar, but it's not quite the same. Can anybody
Yeah,
like?
that mean. I will probably get. That
Yeah,
mean
just
that,
have a guess. Just
that
have a guess.
You are initializing, giving a value of teach beside the items in the array list teacher.
Yeah, exactly. So we like when we write for, it's still a loop, but this time we're not. Usually we do by. It could be let up here as well, actually. But we're not making like we're not making a number. We're making like what we were saying. We make let teach in is like whatever is inside list teacher. So it could be anything as well. In this case, it's a string as well. But it just means that we are saying the let teach. So each element teach will be each element inside the list teacher. So so if we do this, it will give us each index. So 0, 1, 2, 3. And this is because if we do in, it will say what place it is in, what is the index. So the let teach. So the first one, it says okay, let's look through it. And it makes the variable teach, and it says in list teacher. So the first index is 0, then it goes through it again and says 1, 2, 3, because we have 4 elements here. If we instead do the keyword of, it will print out the names instead. So basically these things do the same, but this is like an easier way to write it. You can do both things, but this is more used because it's called ECMAScript 6, so it's a bit of a newer way to write it, and it will become, when you write like a large block of code, this will become a lot easier if you do it like this. So let's see, what else have we got in yeah, so basically the array that we listed up here could have any form of data type, and we can actually also call some methods on these arrays in order to like manipulate them or do different things with them. So for example, we can do double num. So if we were to like say we wanted all of these numbers double, so we want them times by 2. Do you think there's a way we could do this? If we were to call a method on the array, there actually is a way we can do it. We can use something called map, and if I'm gonna write it like this, and now I need to get these again. So what do you think is? Oh wait, did I write it wrong? Just one moment. I just need to see what went wrong here. Where's that called map?
The double teacher.
Did I write something wrong, please?
What is list.maps? What is the X?
Okay, so what this does is that we first declare list double num, which is like which is a new list. So we make a completely new list, and it starts off by being empty. And then we call it equal to, so we assign the value, and then we say list nums. So essentially, if we don't go further than here, this would be the same as this list. But when we call the map method, it means that we are iterating through. So basically we're calling a for loop inside of this method, and then we're creating the variable x. So it means every element that we go through, we assign a value. It could be y, it could be c, we just name it x just for the simplicity. So it means that the first time it goes through, then x is equal to 1, second time it's equal to 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then we say we want to assign a new value. So for example, here we are saying x times 2. So it means that the new value of x is x times 2. We could also do plus 1 or something similar like that. But right here we're just saying x times 2. So it means that it goes through all of these elements here, and then it times them by 2. So that would mean that the new list would be equal to all of these elements times by 2. So the map is a way to manipulate with each index of the array. So say, yeah, for example, in this case where we want to double each element, we could just say times by 2. I actually had another example down here to show that you can also do it with strings. So say we have this list teacher up here, and we want to add the letter N to all of the names. We could do something like this. So here we just call it, we make a new list again called double teacher, and we call it equal to this list over here, and we call the map method. So can anyone explain to me what inside here, what is going on? So we have something called x, right? And x is equal to each of these elements one by one. And then we say x.
It is adding a string n.
Yeah, exactly. It's adding the string n, and it's just being concatenated. So basically what is happening is that the first time it goes through, it takes the first name Chris. Okay, so we say Chris is equal to x. This is called arrow function. This means that we're doing something to the element. Then we say x plus equals to. So it means that we're adding an element and then we're adding n. So this is like a string concatenation. So this would be the same thing as saying you see, so this is basically the same thing. We're saying plus equal to n. So that happens the first time. Then it goes through it again. Then it takes the second name Abed, and then it does the same thing again. So it basically we're looping through. So basically we could do like this, and this would be the same thing. So we are storing all of these values here inside a new list called double teacher, and that's how the map method works. So it takes all the elements and it does something to them. So in this case it could be n. We could also call m or t or whatever.
But I ask you that x is not declared here.
No, that's because we could. This is just a name we gave it. So so when we do like this, say we could also call it y, for example. So this would be the same thing. But x is just a name. So what happens here is this is like a shorter way of writing it. So here we declare the constant. Here we don't need to declare the constant because map already knows that we're going through all the elements. So here at first, like JavaScript asks us, okay, we want to do something to each element of the array. What do we call the first element? And we just give it a name x. So x is equal to the first time it goes through, it's equal to Chris. The second time it's equal to Abbott, and then Oliver, and then Benjamin, and so on. Then we do the operation. The operation is like what we do with the element. So we say plus equals n. So that means that we concatenate the letter n to the string. So this is basically a way of naming the first variable in the index. Usually you use x, but we could also do something like name, for example. We could also say name is like this. This would actually be a little bit better because then it's easier to keep track of, because x could be anything. Yeah?
Now, with this method compared to when you use the for loop,
Yeah.
is it like with this new method, with the map method, is it very sensitive? So when it gets to the last index, the loop ends there.
Yeah. So what we do here, for example, we declare the variable, and then we go through as many times as there is still elements here. What this does is that it takes, I mean, it's basically it has a for loop inside the method, so it always goes through all the elements of the array. And it's very important to notice that this, we could also say, for example, 10 here, or 100 or 1,000, it doesn't matter, because this is more flexible. We can do more things with it. If we want to print out hello 1,000 times, we could use this. We could not use this, because this only works on arrays. So it's only when it's a fixed length. So this will work as long as there's element here. For example, if we added another name, Yannick, say, then if we call the method again, it would just add in to the element over here. So there's like times where something like this is better if we know what we're working with. If we have an array of values and we want to do something with all elements, this is better. But say we want to print something a certain amount of times, this would be better. So yeah, so this is a way to manipulate with the data inside an array. And remember, an array is just like a list of different values. So I had another example here with something called the filter method. Here we go. So we have the here I made before we use strings, but now we're just going to use numbers because I think that's a little bit easier. So map goes through each element and does something with the element. This filter, you can almost figure it out by the name. It filters some of the elements out. So I made a list here called even numbers, and it's equal to this. Can anybody figure out what does this do?
It means for every number, the remainder equals to 0.
Yeah, exactly. So it means that it takes out all the even numbers here. And basically what we're doing here is we're doing the same thing, right? So we made something called number here, and then we say number modulo means that if you divide it by 2, the remainder is 0. So it takes out all the even numbers, then it stores them in this new list here. We could also do different things. For example, we can do, if we do like this, teacher with k, then we can do something like this. So can we do anything here that gets us only the teachers that starts with k? So we have a name here, and now we need to make a condition that makes us only get the teacher that starts with k, and we only have one here. So can anybody help me? Just give some hints. You don't have to have the entire answer.
How can you say that it's a string that starts with K, basically?
Yeah. So we need to say, okay, the first letter needs to be a k, right? Does anybody know? Okay. So if we say, we can use. Remember what we used down here? We use this operator, right? So it get the index, and we can do the same with a string, right? So we can do. I need to copy this. What do we need to say in here to get the first index? Yeah, exactly. We need to say 0 because we need to get the first index, right? And then what can we do now? We need to say it's equal to k.
And
Yeah, we can just do like this. So this will be the name.
The log condition, does it get to the first letter of the name?
Sorry?
Does it get to the first letter of the name or just?
Yeah, it gets to the first letter because we wrote 0 in here. So it says, okay, first we have Chris, right?
Yeah.
And we say, okay, the name
Okay.
of the 0th position, which is a k, is k here. Okay, so we add Chris to teachers with k. Then it goes to Abed. Then it says 0th index is an a, it's not a k. And then we will keep going, but there's only one name. So for example, if we do like this,
but if you do name, inside you do list teacher dot line, it give you check all the index.
no, because if we wanted to, so if we want to check if it contains, I actually think there's a method we can do it like. Isn't it there contains on a string?
Yeah.
So we can do this instead, and this is a predefined method in Java. So this would be easier. Then it automatically goes through all the names.
With K.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
If you want to learn
Can
about
we-
this, what we should Google on the internet about, for example, filter map.
like,
What
is
do
there
you
any kind of
want?
documentation with all the commands?
Yeah,
Yes.
there is. So
Google can help.
Yeah,
Okay.
well,
The
Google
easiest question.
is an ocean, and we need a fish.
have you ever been to this site before? You know this site? It's a really cool site because in here they have examples of all the methods. Okay, can I send it in Slack?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just gonna send it here in
Channel. Scroll up.
Class07, right? This is us. This is just regarding the filter, but they have for all the array methods. So actually in here, this is pretty cool. You can go in here and then they have an example here, for example. So we can use this. So they have a list of words here, and then they say the result is words filter where word.length is less than 6. So what would happen here? What does this condition mean?
The word that have
Less than 6 letters.
Yeah.
at least six letters.
No, less
One
than
at a
6
time. One
letters.
at a time. What do you think?
Word that have at least 6 letters.
Yeah, that's
No,
right.
less than 6.
Yeah, less than 6. That's right. So what is really cool about this site is that you can go run in here, and then it says, okay, that's right. These last 3 letters here had more than yeah, exactly. And then they have all the methods down here. So
Okay, less than 6.
we can
More than 6. I heard less someone. Less.
You have a question? Yeah.
But, I don't know if I'm wrong.
No, no.
To look for the index, the first index candidate in JavaScript, do we have the same char?
You're thinking about like the char add operator, right?
Yeah, char.
I think that's only used in Java. Actually, I don't think you can use that in JavaScript. They have more methods in Java than they have in JavaScript. So usually, if you were to get the first representation out, I would just use like this one. And then there's like some other cool methods we can use. For example, if we wanted to, so pop is a way that we can this way we can get the last element out. Yeah, and we don't get it. We like pop it, so we remove it as well. Yeah, so this would actually get Yannick, and then it would remove him from the list.
Can we see the output as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to go.
See what's going on.
Oh, okay. Name dot contains is not a function. Okay, so actually, isn't there something called contains? I believe there was. Yeah, okay. I'll figure it out afterwards. But I think there's something like called contain. Yeah. But let's just.
But shouldn't you make the semicolon at the end?
Yeah, you should actually. That's bad code practice on me for not doing that. So for example, if we do, so we can make a test here. So we can say, what did we call it? We call it list teacher. So we want to say what's the length, and then we pop the element, and then we want to say, for example, the last teacher was plus, and then we have the variable here, right? So we can just say last teacher, and we can go remaining teachers are, and then we can go for
Plus.
oh yeah, that's right.
Semicolon.
Yeah, semicolon, that's right. Okay, so it started out by saying, okay, what was the index at first? It was 5. Then we say the last teacher was Yannick, and the remaining teachers are 4. So it takes out the last element and displays it. So what if we don't want to remove them?
Push.
That's right.
But you should push someone. You have to declare it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. So if we want to add someone, that's push, right? So we can say
Butter.
butter. We want butter. Okay. Okay. Then we can say butter is the new teacher instead. Actually.
In the BATR.
You have the last ongoing part is
BATR.
It's
I
okay,
will drop from the school.
It's okay, but
From now on, his name is Butter. Okay?
So actually, what happened here was that we
the last teacher was button.
yeah, but it says here that the list is 5, and then after we remove butter, the length is still 5.
Yeah.
Why is this happening? If we go in here and check, we log out the length here, and we add. Yeah.
popped and
Yeah, it's because we printed out the length first, then we added one, and then we removed them instantly. So yeah, I think the last method I want to show is the reduce method, which I had down here. Oops. So what do you think the reduce method does? So we have something, we have the same list of numbers as up here, but now we call it reduce, and we have two values this time. We have one argument in here called sum, and the other one called num. This could also be called number. And then we call the arrow function again. Then we say sum plus num. What do you think? What's happening here? What will be printed out?
Like 1 plus 2.
Yeah. So actually, so
What are the sum and num?
yeah, that's what I'm asking you. What do you think? Okay, maybe if we can do this instead. This will maybe make it a little bit easier.
Understand what is happening between this. If you can please explain more about
Yeah.
these things that you write between these brackets.
Yeah, okay. So what we put in here is the first argument is the sum of all the numbers. So this is where we store all the numbers exactly. This is the current number we add. So it's basically what's happening is a for loop again. So we're saying that the list of numbers up here. So what's happening is that the first time it gets 1, right? So let's just say it gets 1, and then the sum is equal to 1 and numbers equal to 1, right? Then it says the sum plus number. Then the second time it gets 2, right?
Yeah.
So what, this is equal to 1 still, because first time it was 1.
3.
Then it's equal to, yeah, exactly, because what do we have here? We had 1, right? Then we plus with the number 2, and the next time what is this? This is 3, right?
Yeah, 3, yeah.
Yeah. And this, okay, I can't even remember. This is 3, right? So this is the way of, like, if you have all the values in an array, just to make them into one number. So
the sum is like the result of the previous iteration.
yeah, exactly, because we call it reduce method. So it's like we reduce the entire array into one value. So let's just check if this works out.
That doesn't define getting higher, huh?
Yeah, I got really high. Okay, let's put some more info in here. Now we have a lot of yeah, so it says here the sum is equal to 230. So basically we could actually do this in another way, right? If we do it like this, this would be the same thing. Okay, so this is basically, this is an easier way to do this. So if we were to do it with a loop, right, we could do like this. And then we can just do yeah, then we can just, let's say we had declared something up here. We could just say sum plus equals to list nums of you see that this is actually the same thing, right? So we have like a loop inside here, right? So we go through all of the index, and then we say sum is plus equal to list num of the index. So this is actually like the same thing. So actually all the methods that we had here before, just like the map method, we could also do the same thing over here, right? So we could do the for loop again. Oops. Then instead we say that for each time it goes, no, this is the list of teachers. For each time it goes through, we say plus equals n this time. Oh. So you see that all of these methods are actually like a for loop inside, and we do an operation in here, right? So you can see that these things are actually kind of like the same. So yeah, that's just like quick on like how the array methods work. That like you can iterate through all of the elements simply to like a for loop like this, and then you can do like an operation on them with like the map function. So yeah. So that was. Do you think there's anything more I should cover? Or anything?
The,
Yeah.
Question, I guess.
Yeah.
the keyword, the map, filter, reduce other keywords to maybe like give a specific meaning.
Yeah. No, they're not keywords. They're methods. So you could also do something like this. You can do this without any problem because these are what called method. So you call them like this with the parentheses.
You see, there
It's a function.
of what is that function.
So,
When you do filter and bracket, you get the explanation on Visual Studio. On HTML, we don't have it.
so yeah, are there any more questions? I know this is my first time, so maybe I skipped over some of the things, and I apologize for that. So if you have any questions or something I explained badly, just say so. Then we can go over it again, if it is. Or does it make sense? Does it make yeah?
If you say list norms but map and you still need the things in bracket the same, will it give you the same answer?
Sorry.
So like if somewhere you have the filter and the map function, the filter and the map words.
Yeah.
But if you interchange them, will it still work?
Oh, like the filter and the map.
Yeah, so if you, instead of dot filter you put dot map, page everything the same, will it work?
Oh, like the difference between filter and map. Yeah, okay. So like filter is like if you imagine a filter, it takes some of the elements out. So for example, when we call filter here, right? We say we only want the numbers that are
Even.
yeah, that are even exactly. So we say in this even numbers we take some of the numbers out. We only want even numbers. Map we do an operation to each of the number. So we change the value of each number. So say for example if we had
Add one to each number of the list.
yeah,
For example.
exactly.
So instead of having 1, 2, 3, you have 2, 4, and it's adding one digit to the numbers in the array.
Yeah, then we would use map. So like the example with here before, that you can say if we want to change the name of each of the teachers, then we would use map, right? Because we want to change each element. If we would say we would only get the teachers with that had A in it, or only started with an A or something, then we would use filter, right? And if we want to get the total I don't know, the total value of numbers here, then we would use reduce because we want to like get the total value of the numbers.
I
Yeah.
have a question. When you are choosing, for example, here none, you choose none.
Yes.
Okay. So you shouldn't have been used another variable like none before that.
No.
Because if you use it, you are referred to that
Yeah.
variable.
But that's I don't know. I don't think we have covered the JavaScript scope yet. But actually, I can do it like this. And the reason I can do this is that this is like declared in here. So this num is only used inside the filter method here. So I can have another one called no.
But
Yeah.
I just tested now.
Can I just chip in?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you just remove this cursor? So basically, are you all guys know what is this sign means?
You're assigning.
So it's
Oh no! They are comparing now.
Let him to explain.
No,
you guys should explain
it's
better. So it's greater than equal, right?
Yeah.
Everybody is correct. So basically, today we don't have that much time to cover all this topic we have, like remaining function and objects. So basically, when we do the function, probably we'll go get to know more. So this is the function sign. Okay, it's not like greater than or like less than or assignment. It's a function sign. So basically, this first word is an array function. So the function here is a very optimized way of writing a latest JavaScript ES6 syntax. So this kind of thing you will be learn more in JavaScript module 2, but it's good that we are also introducing here, and they will go in much deeper what is this about, and also this map, reduce, filter, it will be also covered there. So basically here you are defining a function here. We can also, I just take one example and explain this one and how it functions.
Maybe the last part of the homework, the big one. I think we could take that example and explain this.
I think it's much easier because if you take
Because of this, the color is different, yes?
okay, maybe map here, right? So I take the map. Okay, so I told you, this is a function, right?
Yeah.
So we can just rewrite this code again. This is it, right? Let's say console, right? So we can print log. And this is not a function. It's just a syntax string. Okay. So I just comment my code here. So what is it here? Double teacher is this, right? See, it's doing a map and adding n in the end, right? With each name. Can you see that? Chris, Abed, and Oliven, all these kind of things, right? So. So if I just remove this thing, remove this one, it's doing the exact same thing. And to prove it, look at this, right? So you here what I'm doing here is, in map, when this execute, as Christopher mentioned, we are executing a loop, right? So in list of teacher, so this is an array. We always execute loop in two fashion, like defining for loop I equals 0, length, and many other things. But if you are writing, also can execute the loop against object and array, right? So this is an array, right? The list of teacher, right? Remove all of this thing. Less confused. List of teacher, we are writing in loop against each of the elements. So if we write this way, so it checks every element at one time. First Chris, then Abed, then check third one, then fourth one. This way it goes for each line of execution, and then it try to do something here for some magic you define in this bracket. So to do something there, it's a way to write a function. You cannot do without anything like function. So this is a function we are defining, and function has no name here. It's an anonymous function. We'll cover this one when we'll talk about the function. And function also receives some argument or parameter, right? So here I'm passing something, right? Maybe you can call it my name or whatever name, anything, right? So name, and then what I'm doing here, I'm doing some operation, and adding the name, and then returning it. When I return, what it does, it just first in the line of if the browser execute line number 47 for the first time, for array index 0, right? It says this name, and it modify the name and store it here. And then for the second one, it is stored here. For the third one, it is stored here. So instead of writing this long way of writing function, you can just define it this way. This is a much shorter way. Like we define the if-else condition in ternary, right here. Why did you do it? Like this one. It's single line of condition, right? So that way. Does it make sense? or probably you can also do a console log here. Just to see what is the name, right? Undefined 85. Where is 85? Okay, forget about that one. So here, see, name is Chris. It's whenever it execute for the first time, very first time, it find the name Chris, right? And it's doing something. I don't know it's readable to you or not. So forget about this bracket. So this is a function, right? It's easy to see now.
Yeah, if you bring down the console, you won't have that problem.
Sorry.
If you bring this console,
Yeah.
this part,
Yeah.
bring it down.
Here.
No, you cannot do it because you should.
So I'm just now I'm not explaining what is a function and what is the other thing. I'm just explaining what is this mean. This sign signature means. This signature is just a function, nothing else. Okay. But it will be very difficult if I go deep, to everything. Then we'll not be able to finish. Yeah. But anyway, you will learn more in the next module as well.
Yes.
Yes. Now you can continue.
Yeah. I should probably have cleared up what a function was, and it got a little bit confusing. I don't know what we should cover more.
Okay. So if you're done, probably we have 20 minutes almost.
Yeah.
So we'd like to spend 10 minutes for looking at the homework if you want. So we can go through the homework list. What is the homework? We can talk about it.
Yeah. Very
So
Say it again.
yeah. You need a break or?
No, I just thought it was.
Okay.
Is there anything that we should add?
Okay. I plan to cover these are the topics. See here. So mostly we cover all of them except function and DOM manipulation and object. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Object. So next class we will cover function and object. Yeah, we don't have time
What is the
today.
difference between debugging and error?
Debugging.
Are they
Yeah.
used simultaneously or?
Yes. So debugging is like anyway. So this is the error, right? We have debug. So it's in debugging. We see this one and go to the line number and then
That's
we go to.
process. Okay.
That's a debugging.
Oh, okay,
But
process.
it can be more advanced. I'm just showing you one example, but you don't have to learn now. You can learn more later on. So let's see. It's a bit confused for us, like what is doing here actually, or in the upper level of code, right? So choose one code that is very confusing, and you want to see how this is working. Let's take this one for instance, right?
Yeah.
Line number 49. Okay, so we go there. Line number 49. We click in this line. See, here's a number, and if you can click on the numbers. See, it's a toggle button. If you click, it's a blue color. Otherwise, second click is empty, right? So if you click in color here, it means that whenever you want to execute, you're telling the browser to stop execution code on that line. Okay. So let's refresh it. So I'm just executing now, right? Let's refresh. See, it's infinite, just going on, right? Nothing happening. You don't see anything here, right? But one thing interesting that you can see here, it was like a small blue, and now you can see a line, right? And also with some value. So if I hover over, like with something, see here, if I put the mouse on the name, it's giving me the value of this one. If I put the mouse over on the this list of teacher, it's giving me the list of the variable it has, right? So in that case, look at here. In the line of now, browser already executed line number until 49. Now it's stopping here in 50. So what should we expect in if we come to 51?
Christen.
What?
do the function. No?
So 50. If it come here next line number 51, what it will do? What it will accomplish doing?
Put n.
It will just perform line number 50 first, right? So basically, you can see here in console, right? If I clear the console, oh, I cannot. I can do it this way. So you can see I'm happy or stuff. So I'm just removing this one, right? Now it's empty, right? It's empty. Now I'm going to this one, and you can see here is a button, right? So you can go to next line or something. So I'm now, or I think it's this one. Yeah. Now it's stopping where?
51.
51. So what do you expect? It's a console.log. It means what? It's print something in the console, right? What should it print?
So
Name this way and Chris, right? Let's check. It printed. Stopping. And now go again and then execute again. It coming and stopping in 50. Why is that?
because you just choose that gap, 50 and 50.
No, I stop in 50, and in 50 number line, as you mentioned, that map is a kind of a loop, right?
Yeah.
It loops through the all names here. Name 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Oh, yeah,
So
so
it
you
will
make
continue
it
doing
show
until it finish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here, right? And also, like now, look at a interesting thing. No, it's not written yet. Okay. So it's now it should do it here. So next time,
Oliver.
Abed, right? And we do here again. Now we're tired, right? So let's break it and then come here, right? So if I don't want to do C all the time doing it, so I just click here. Now it's going to the next line, next execution. So it did in the background, it's execute all the line. Now check. So it's printed all the names, right? Now if I go to the line number 56, what should you do? You have to stop this with some code. There's no code. Code is here, right? 84.
Because it doesn't
85.
care about the
Yeah, comments. So if I go to this next line, 85, what should you expect in the console?
the last console log.
Here, 55, it says double teachers, teacher, and then print the what?
With the N.
See the double teacher, what it is.
The N.
Now you can see the value with updated, right? With this one. Chris, N, and all this thing. See, it's printed there. So this is another debugging, right? So you can do more debugging in more advanced way, but I'm not going that deep. So it's basic and it's much advanced for you as well. Yeah. Yes. Now we end and code executed everything, and we back to the error scenario, right? Because there's an issue in this here, in this line. Anyway.
So
Does it cover what you asked? Okay. So next class we'll talk about function and object. Yeah. And DOM manipulation.
Excuse me, if you do you see the Slack? When we post something, do you
Yes.
okay. Last time when we were at class, we tried to make a formula to, for example, we are going to buy a pizza, and if this pizza is a big size, we will get the double size like that. And I tried to make a HTML and CSS first, and then I tried to put the JavaScript code on that. But I wasn't successful. Do you like to take a look? Maybe it can help each other as well.
But this is regarding DOM manipulation, where you post the JavaScript content onto the HTML page. So we will go for that next time.
Oh.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, that's a good idea. In next class, probably we'll use the pizza example,
Yeah.
and learn the function and the objects, right? And also we'll do the DOM manipulation. So who is confident to share your HTML CSS code for this one?
I mean,
You have it?
yes.
Can you
now
just
I
show the screen? How does it look like? The design, not the code.
Yeah, I will show. Of course, I can design much better, but I just keep it simple because I just wanted to
Okay.
practice.
Okay, otherwise I'll prepare a small design for you guys and then we'll experiment with that one. That's okay. So now let's look at the homework, right?
This is, I send it now on the slide.
Is it? Okay. It's nothing
No,
here.
it's not this. Sorry.
Okay, let's not send now, okay? We'll do it later. That's fine. So let's check the homework. Homework, right? So I haven't been through, so I'll be doing like you guys. Scrolling fast. How big is this thing?
It's very big.
Yeah. Okay. Did you manage to go through the homework? What is the homework? Content?
Yeah.
You can talk about maybe.
Yeah,
In
okay.
summary?
I haven't looked too much at it,
Okay.
but is it like the next homework, or do you want to go through the last week's homework?
Next homework.
Okay.
Just to introduce the homework.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I'm not going through, unfortunately, because it's a very long page and we don't have that much time. But I want to say one thing: you try, give a try, and skip the function and object-related exercise.
If we try to do that,
If you can, it's a very good sign. Do it. But if you cannot, don't get upset.
we
Okay?
get upset so easy. If we do that.
But definitely give the try with the array and other things, your condition thing if you find, and try to be smart. And also probably you'll be able to do it when you do the the reading. You read the what do you say? The so the content here, preparation part. So you will get to know what is the function and how to use them. So probably you'll be getting smarter to do it. Yeah. So anyone had any? I still have 8 minutes. I have to use them.
Yeah.
So anyone had any experience with using DOM manipulation?
Using what?
DOM manipulation. What is DOM manipulation?
Oh, DOM. DOM.
Yes, this one. This one. Not dumb. DOM.
I haven't done DOM.
Mindful is done, but it's smart.
Okay.
But we heard about how does it work, with HTML and CSS, the tree view.
Okay. It's okay. Let's do it. Let's do something here. So we have the index, right? So here we can write. We can define something, and it's not a good thing here. Let's say h1, right? h1, and what should we say? Blah blah blah, something, right? Much fun. So if I refresh, I see this, right?
Yes.
Right. So just a quick example what is DOM manipulation is. We can also write the code here in the top just to see it. So
If you want to change that HTML, so first you have to
Yeah.
give an ID to that.
yeah, the first idea is like here I am saying looking at something and I want to change it, blah blah, to something meaningful, right? Let's say class 07. And how do I change it? Using JavaScript without changing in the HTML. So you should able to locate the element first and try to read it and then modify it. There's 3 options. You should try to locate first, modify it, and just it happens. So document dot get element by tag name. There are many options you can do. So what is the tag? H1. Yes. So now I don't know how to actually use them. Let's say okay.
After H1,
HTML tag. So I save it here. Console.log. See what is giving me, right? What can we get from DOM? Oh, it's stopping because yeah. Oh man, it's giving a lot. Yeah. So basically, you can see here. If I don't do with a class name or anything, if I just search with the tag name, right? And tag name comes with an array of object, just array. So there could be an if I search with a div, right, or span or h1, h2, h3, there could be multiple tag with similar name, right? If I say with h2, h2 can be 5 h2 can be in one page, right? So in that case, it's this way. This DOM, it's return things with the object. So we want to change this one, 0 element, and this is the one. Just to read it, and 0. See what's giving, undefined. Oh man, I didn't save it. Why is it giving? Let's try our Google friend. Okay. I think everybody is tired, right? Excellent.
It should be in an array, right?
Yeah. Why is not printing? Array. Okay, I think let's skip it today. Okay, we'll do it next class. It's the best way.
But you want to change the HTML, yes?
Yes,
It's very easy. I can do it.
you can do it. Okay. No, yeah, I can do it too, but try to using breaking down the what is DOM and how can you split and break down and go there. So we'll do it for next class.